Hey guys, this is Callum from EnglishShooting and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back also to the Bluefield Sports range, where recently I did a video comparing quad loading and dual loading and also went over some of the additions to the Stoga M3000 that I use for competition. But in those videos I told you that I was actually using some of the new Nexus Pros. A lot of you will be very familiar with this. This is the original Magload Nexus 12. I do also use a 28, but this was actually one of the first Nexus 12s to be sent out, and it was sent to me by Connors before we really even knew each other, before we'd actually met each other for review, and I was incredibly impressed. This was the first quad loader that I felt fully comfortable being able to quad load with. It was just very, very natural and in a very compact package. Going from the Tacoms that I used to use to this was an absolute night and day difference. This loader has seen me well out in Utah, out in Prague, and many times within the UK. It's been all over the world with me, but I have had to ditch it because I've got the new hotness. Old and busted, new hotness. The look straight away you can see is completely different. There's a whole stealthier look to the new Pro, and it's not just the aesthetic, there is performance difference in the look as well. The biggest difference first off is the new black backplate. The original Nexus was the exposed stainless steel. The new backplate has actually gone over to aluminium and has a hard anodized coating, meaning that it's going to be potentially even tougher than the original stainless, making it and keeping it looking nice and new for a lot longer. The hard anodized has also moved over to the bars. Again, on the original they are exposed, but there's a hard gold anodized, giving it a nice contrast between the back and the gold bars. But the coating, again, not just aesthetic, it's there to actually make the loader a lot smoother, meaning that they run smoother within the runners, again helping for more consistent release and retention. Release and retention are going to be words that I'm going to be using quite a lot in this video, as again that's some of the main differences. Looking closer at the polymer, you can see that the old Nexus now seems a little bit more blocky. The Nexus Pro has been smoothed off and rounded, and I think the aesthetic is really, really nice. It's also a lot more compact. The original Nexus was compact as it was, having 12 rounds in that form factor, but when you put them side by side you can see it makes the Nexus 12, the original, look quite bulky. And in terms of the size difference, the weight difference is also quite astronomical. The original 12 was around 430 grams, where the new Nexus Pro 12 is around 260. You can see that the geometry of the bases have also changed. They've been thickened up for more durability, but also they've been raised up, meaning that they hold and cup the shell a lot more. Not forgetting that the original Nexus, there are videos of Team Magload sponsored shooters doing backflips on trampolines with them and the rounds not coming out. So the Nexus has never struggled with retention, but the Pro just again takes it to the next level. In terms of retention, you've now got the bigger magnets. Now these bigger magnets were available as an additional upgrade on the original Nexus, but they now come as standard. Now Connors, it's a bit of a bone of contention for him, because he still swears that you do not need, as long as everything's designed correctly, you do not need bigger magnets than the ones in the original Nexus. But he's listened to the feedback and people want bigger magnets, so that's what you've got. But apart from that, I think it's probably about time to put some lead down range and see how these truly perform. Now, because I can only shoot a section 2, we are only going to be doing dual loads, but I have been doing some dry drills with dummy cartridges, and I can attest that they quad load as well as they dual load. But let's see how they perform putting lead down range. So straight away the difference is noticeable in terms of the retention and the release. There's just no effort at all pulling away the cartridge. It almost feels like it's too light and that they are just going to all spill out. So the loaders are supplied with Velcro to put on the back to then use on a Velcro loader. Also, you can probably just see through the bars there that you do have the slots for a belt clip. So again, giving you greater flexibility. The Nexus Pros are available in the same capacities as the original Nexus, which was the 12, 14, 20, 24, 28 or 32, but there is now the addition of an 8 capacity. I know from Connors that was hugely requested from many people, and also 3 gunners. So whilst the 28s aren't necessarily going to be suitable for 3 gun, I've used the 12, as I've said, for 3 gun many times. They do seem to be quite popular, but if you're worried about the size, even though it's so compact, it could quite easily fit on a belt, a 2-piece belt on the side like that, or even in the normal orientation. But the 8 will give you can just imagine removing those 2. Unfortunately, I don't have one to hand, but the 8 is going to be so compact, and usually 12 to 8 rounds for 3 gun is going to see through most stages. There's not a lot of loading with shotgun in 3 gun. That's certainly what I've found. So the new 8 is going to be a huge bonus for potential 3 gunners, but also using it as an initial load during an IPSC match. It means you can have your strong and your weak hand caddies, your main caddies, and even have your 8 round the back just for your initial load before you start the stage. The original Nexus did come disassembled. You can still have them come disassembled, or you can actually specify left or right hand and they will come pre-assembled for you. If you get a left-handed, the beautiful thing about the Nexus is that you can always convert it in the space of 5-10 minutes to a right-handed loader. I know some of the other competitors, once you pick right or left hand, you're then set. With these, you can easily change from right to left-handed. They're modular as well, so if you go for a 28 and you decide, oh, actually I want to go for an 8 and a 20, well, all you need to do is get in contact with Magload and you can buy the additional back plates and interchange the parts. So huge flexibility and hugely modular. The last thing I'm sure you're all wondering about is the price. With all of these upgrades and different processes and all of the different functionality that's now available in these loaders, you're probably thinking that they're going to be hugely more expensive than the original Nexus. So for a comparison, before the launch of the Nexus Pro, the Nexus 12 was £140. The new Nexus Pro 12 is £150. So a huge amount of functionality and upgrade and improvements for only £10 more than the original one. So I know Connors is also very focused on driving down the cost of loaders and making it more accessible for people to get the top level gear, which is also why, as of this video going live, that the original Nexuses are going to be discounted. So you know, if you can't still stretch to say the Pro level, the original Nexus should become a little bit more affordable. The 28 here, again, the original Nexus was £340 and the new Nexus Pro 28 is £350. So again, only a £10 difference for a huge amount more of functionality and performance. Needless to say, I'm incredibly impressed. Again, I know a lot of you know my involvement with Connors and Magload. It is fairly hard for me to be impartial, having seen the birth of these from beginning to end, but in trying to be as impartial as I can, I really do think that these are the best caddies on the market. I thought the original Nexus was, that's why I was running it. Hugely impressed. This is now going to be my competition rig. I'm not going to be going back to the original because, again, these are head and shoulders above. If you are interested in learning more about these loaders or even picking up some yourself, head over to magload.co.uk. But there we go, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. A big thank you to Bluefield Sports for letting us use their range. And if you did enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed for future content. And as always, guys, I hope to see you soon.